All right, second graders, today we are going to be detectives. Today we are going to use story clues to predict what will happen in a story. Now, predict, it's kind of a fun word to say, predict. Can you say it with me? Predict, predict. Predict means that we are going to use clues to say what will happen, to guess the future, and to imagine what will come next in a story. And we can use a really fun thing, a really fun tool called a predictograph to think of clues to help us make those predictions in the story, to help us be those detectives. Now, this is what a predictograph is. We are going to use this as a tool to help us figure out how to make those predictions. How can we be those detectives to figure out what's going to happen next? You'll notice this top part up here. What do you think will happen next in the story? You'll notice the clues section in the middle, and then you'll notice the bottom section where you're going to make a prediction. I'm going to show you how to use each one of these sections so that we can be those detectives. All right, let me show you how to use the predictograph. Now first, I have this picture up here. It is telling the story of the three little pigs. And we're going to use some clues from the picture to figure out what might happen next in the story. So let's take a look here at the picture. Take a look over here. We see that there is a house of straw that has been blown down. We have the door here. We have the window here. So that's one of our clues. Let's go back to our predictograph to put down that as one of our clues. All right, so here's our predictograph again. Again at the top, what do we think will happen next in the story? Now I'm down here at the clues part. And we were going to write down here that the house made of straw has been blown down. Now you guys will be writing this with your lovely handwriting, and I'm going to actually type this in here. So here we go. You guys will be writing, but I'm going to type. I'm going to put down the straw house is blown down. So that is my first clue. The straw house is blown down. Back to my picture here. We're going to find some more clues to figure out what could happen next in the story. Well, let's take a look here. Oh, here is the stick house. And we see that the big bad wolf is blowing down the stick house. See how the sticks are flying in the air, the door is falling in, the window's crooked. That could be our second clue. So let's go back to our predictograph and put down that we have clue number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in. We're going to type in, and you guys would be writing this, stick house is being blown down. I might even put an exclamation mark in there. There we go. That's my clue number 2. All right, I bet we can find at least one more clue in our picture here as far as what could happen next in our story. I'm looking here and I am seeing that there are 2 little piggies that are running to the brick house. And that is our next clue. Pigs are running to the brick house. So let's go back to our predictograph. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put in my third clue here. The pigs are running to the brick house. We got our 3 clues. We have the straw house is blown down, the stick house is being blown down, and the pigs are running to the brick house. Now we can take those 3 clues, and I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction here. I'm going to say, based on the straw house is blown down, the stick house is being blown down, and the pigs are running to the brick house, I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction that the wolf will go to the brick house and try to blow it down. So I'm going to go down here and type that right now. And again, you guys will be writing with your pencils. The wolf will go to the brick house and try to blow it down. So there is my predictograph. We have at the top part there, what do you think will happen next in the story? We figured out our clues. We were detectives, and I typed up some clues there. And then at the bottom, I made that prediction. The wolf will go to the brick house and try to blow it down. Today, we are going to go ahead and we're going to practice using this predictograph. Now, let me show you what story we are going to use for that. So here we go. Here is our book called The Buffalo Hunt. This is what we are going to read today and practice using our predictographs. Now, in this story, Wind in the Treetops and his tribe, they are looking for buffalo, and they're also going to hold a sacred buffalo dance. So we're going to read to page 7, and while we're doing that, we're going to try to think of clues to help us predict what's going to happen next in the story. We're going to do this together. So I'm going to go ahead, let's pass around the books here. We're going to read to page 7. I'll read it to you. You guys are going to follow along. And then after we get to page 7, we are going to fill out the predictograph to figure out what's going to happen next. We're going to use some clues that we've found. All right, so here I would go ahead and read out loud to page 7 to the students, making sure that when I flip each page that they are on that page that I'm on by saying, okay, boys and girls, now I'm on page 4. So we'd go ahead and read that, and then after we read, we'll go ahead and go back to the predictograph. All right, here I'm passing out a blank predictograph. We're going to use this just like we used, just like I showed you how to use during the Three Little Pigs story. And here, let's go ahead and pass around some clipboards and some pencils. We're going to go ahead and use some of the clues from the story that we just read, pages 1 through 7, to fill this out. So let's look at the top part here. What do you think will happen next in the story? All right, so let's think of some clues. What was Wind in the Treetops doing with his pony? Can anybody think about what he was doing for his pony? Okay, yep, he was not riding his pony, so his pony was not tired. I'm just going to put in his pony is not tired. So that is our first clue. So go ahead and write that down. His pony is not tired. And of course, I would allow them enough time to write down before I go on to the next one. All right, next thing here. Let's think of at least one more clue. All right, okay, good. The hunters did the sacred buffalo dance. So I'm going to put down hunters did the buffalo dance. All right, go ahead and write that down. So we've got at least 2 clues down here now. Now let's make a prediction about what's going to happen next. Like what's going to happen in the morning when they wake up. Good, I like that. Okay, so they're going to keep looking for buffalo. They are going to keep looking for buffalo. All right, let's go ahead and write that in. Great, so we were detectives. We looked at these clues. His pony is not tired. The hunters did the sacred buffalo dance. And we predict that since they have not found buffalo yet, they're going to keep looking for buffalo in the morning. All right, now let's go back to our books. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna read pages 8 through 11, but we're gonna read them with our buddies, our buddy reading partners for the week. We're gonna read pages 8 through 11 in our buddy groups, and then we're gonna come back and we are gonna have we're gonna fill out our predictographs with our buddy. So make sure you hold on to your clipboards. We're going to be doing them where you're reading, so let's go ahead and spread out. And then, of course, at this time, I would go ahead and have them read to pages 8 through 11 in their buddy groups. I'd be monitoring. I'd be going around making sure that they're reading, that they're thinking of clues as they're reading. And then once they get to the predictograph, I'm going to watch them filling out with their reading pairs. and the clues will be written down with their partner pairs, and I'll just make sure that I'm providing that structure to them at that time. All right, guys, so now that we've filled out the predictor graph a second time, we're going to finish up this story. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have you guys go ahead and read by yourselves. Now, there's still quite a few pages in here, so I'm going to have you guys read pages 12 through 14 by yourself, and then you're going to go ahead and fill out a predictor graph independently. And the top portion here, I've already filled it in for you. What do you think will happen after the buffalo are killed? And then you'll go ahead and write down those clues independently. And this is still part of the guided practice time. I will go ahead and go around as they're doing it independently, making sure I'm providing support for those students who are needing it. And then after I see that the students have all filled out that predictor graph on the guided practice, their independent time, I would go ahead and bring them back together and tell the students, okay, now we're going to practice some more predicting on your own. We're going to pass around another predictor graph worksheet, and we're going to fill out this top part together. And let's see here. I will go ahead and fill it out for you here. So we're going to pretend like this is all blank again, just like what you guys would go ahead and see. All right, so this top part here, yours says, what do you think will happen when the buffalo have been butchered? What do you think will happen when the buffalo have been butchered? All right, so you're going to read the rest of the story. You're going to find at least 2 clues. You can even come up with a third one if you think you can. And then you're going to write down your prediction on the bottom. All right, so read pages 15 through 18. You can find a quiet spot again in the room. If it was the same spot, that would be great. All right, and then at this time, I would go ahead and walk around, again, providing support to the students, making sure that they are reading, making sure that they're filling out the predictor graph. I'd be taking a look at their clues that they're coming up with and their predictions. So I'd be helping them. I'd be monitoring their progress. All right, boys and girls. So that is the end of our time. We're running out of time. We have to get cleaned up here. We are going to keep working on these predictor graphs. We'll just be looking at them later on in the next few days. We'll be coming up with some more stories that we're going to read, and we're even going to write our own stories. And then we're going to have our fellow classmates make predictions of them too. So this is a fun way that we can be detectives and try and figure out with clues what's going to happen next in the story. All right, guys, let's go ahead and start cleaning up.